Welcome to our channel. Today, we will explore one of the most profound and inspiring stories in the Bible, the story of Job. Get ready for a journey of faith, trials, and redemption. The story of Job begins in the land of Uz, where a righteous and upright man named Job lived. He was known for his devotion to God, his blameless character, and his immense wealth. Job had a large family, 7 sons and 3 daughters, and owned vast properties, including 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 donkeys. He also had many servants and was considered the wealthiest man in the East. However, Job's life was about to be shaken. One day, the sons of God presented themselves before the Lord, and among them was Satan. The Lord asked Satan if he had considered his servant Job, highlighting his righteousness and devotion. Satan argued that Job was faithful only because God had blessed him abundantly. He suggested that if Job lost everything, he would surely curse God. God allowed Satan to test Job's faith, but with one condition, that he would not touch Job's life. Thus, Job's trials began. In a single day, Job lost all his possessions and, tragically, all his children. A servant came and said that the Sabaeans had attacked and taken the oxen and donkeys, killing the servants with the sword. Another reported that fire from heaven had burned the sheep and shepherds. Another said that the Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties and stole the camels, killing the servants. Finally, the last messenger brought the worst news. A strong wind collapsed the house where his children were, killing them all. Despite his immense suffering, Job did not sin or blame God. He tore his robes, shaved his head in mourning, and said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away, blessed be the name of the Lord." Not satisfied, Satan challenged God once more, saying that Job remained faithful because he still had his health. God then allowed Satan to afflict Job with diseases but forbade him from taking his life. Job was struck with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. His wife, desperate and unable to see so much suffering, suggested he curse God and die. But Job remained steadfast in his faith, rebuking his wife and saying, "You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we accept good from God, and not trouble?" In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. 3 friends of Job, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, came to console him. For 7 days, they sat in silence, sharing Job's grief. However, when they began to speak, compassion gave way to accusations. They argued that Job must have committed some hidden sin, as they believed his calamities were divine punishment. Eliphaz suggested that Job should seek God and repent. Bildad argued that God does not reject the blameless, and Zophar insisted that Job should confess his sins to be restored. Job, distressed, defended his innocence and expressed his desire to understand the reason for his suffering. He longed for a direct audience with God to plead his case. He said, "Even if I called and he answered me, I could not believe that he was listening to my voice." Job lamented the day of his birth and expressed his deep desire to understand divine justice. Then, a 4th friend, Elihu, intervened, offering a new perspective. He suggested that Job's suffering might be a form of divine discipline to purify and refine his faith, saying, "God is greater than any mortal. Why do you complain to him that he responds to no one's words?" Elihu emphasized that God can use suffering to correct and guide people on the right path. God finally responded to Job, speaking out of a whirlwind. In a majestic speech, God questioned Job about the vastness and complexity of his creation, showing that human understanding is limited before divine wisdom. He asked, "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me, if you understand." God described the creation of the world, wild animals, and natural phenomena, demonstrating his incomparable omnipotence and wisdom. Job humbly acknowledged God's sovereignty and wisdom, repenting of his words. He declared, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." Therefore I despise myself and repent in dust and ashes. God restored Job's prosperity, giving him twice as much as he had before. He had 7 more sons and 3 more daughters, and his daughters were the most beautiful in all the land. Job lived another 140 years, seeing his children and their children to the 4th generation. He died old and full of days. The story of Job teaches us about faithfulness, perseverance in faith in the face of adversity, and God's infinite wisdom and justice. We hope that Job's story has inspired you to reflect on your own faith and resilience. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more uplifting stories. Until next time.